Before I get started with this video, I have to give a shout out to BGS Itmore because he retweeted this onto his timeline. And if it wasn't for him, I would not have seen this. So we always talk about how black women did not have a place in feminism. And this little thread right here, which was actually posted in January of last year, is going to prove just that with some texture that will give you more provided insight on why we said that. And even some black women will even say why that is as well. So this thing was posted by a user by the name of Black Capitalist. And he said, Black patriarchy myth. Betty Friedman, the mother of feminism, admitted to wanting to quote unquote spank black women who said they did not want to join the feminist movement because they already had power in the black community. Now, we already know who this is. We don't have to guess who that is. I know that's Shirley Chisholm right there. And I think this is kind of playing off of this show that came on, I want to say FX. When it was a show that was on, I think it was called Miss America or something like that. And it was basically talking about the early stages of second wave feminism. And these are the other women right here. I'm not sure which one is Betty Friedman. I'm sure one of you down in the comments will let me know. Now, this is just the beginning right here. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you the text. So here's the text right here. It says, I wanted young black women as well. So on that same trip to Atlanta, or maybe another, I met with students with their new afros at the headquarters of SNCC, or the Students Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, an organization of black college students formed in 1960 by Stokely Carmichael to end segregation peacefully in the South through voter registration, drive-ins, and sit-ins. It was hard to convince those young black women to to join now. I remember sitting on the floor and talking with all these young women and some men, and the women were saying to me, we don't want anything to do with that feminist bag. Black women have been too strong. It's the black man who should get his power now. Then they'll take care of us. Well, I wanted to spank them, but they learned soon enough. They eventually came in. Now listen to that right there. This right here, this quote, this text right here that you see highlighted where it starts with the word it says a lot. So that shows you right there that even black women back then were not down initially with the feminist movement, and that they wanted to give black men the power that they felt they deserved because, and it's going to go on because there's something else additional in there as well when it talks about the jobs and everything like that, because black women were able to get certain jobs and black men could not get jobs, or certain jobs that probably didn't pay them as well and everything like that. So they literally had black women at a forefront from the beginning, as far as especially on the money making part right there. But it shows you right here that black women initially didn't jump at the opportunity to join the feminist movement. They did give some pushback, but there was, of course, some more convincing that I'm sure they did that eventually had them get on board. Now, here's the next part of the text. It was true, of course, that black women were already strong. They were forced to be because they could get jobs cleaning houses and taking care of white children when black men couldn't get any jobs at all except for shining shoes. Because black women were essential to the family's survival, they never had the quote-unquote luxury of the feminine mystique that belonged to the white middle and upper class. Even daughters of the black upper middle class, like my brilliant psychotherapist friend Margaret Lawrence, who started the mental health clinic in Rockland County, Jane Wright, Dean of Medical School, Eleanor Holmes Norton, prominent civil rights attorney and future Congress, and then it cuts off right there. So like I was saying, those white women, those PC women, knew that they had an opportunity to get black women to join their cause. But like I said, initially black women knew they didn't have to because they had no place in being in feminism. They had no place there. And those white women knew they had no place there, but they needed them for the numbers, and they knew they could brainwash them into really carrying the mantle. And unfortunately, this is what leads to a lot of the stuff that we have today. So this is another piece as to why I say black women did not have a place in feminism. Just looking at that little bit of what I read, it makes me mad, because it's like, damn, like if y'all would have just held on and just been a little bit more stronger in the mind, y'all could have this could have been one major obstacle that could have been dodged that would have definitely helped us a lot had you not did it. Now, I can't blame the ones of, like the women of today or everything like that, because y'all weren't back then. Y'all were not there back then when this happened. Unfortunately, it's been passed down generationally to think in this manner. Like, look at what she said. She said she wanted to spank black women for not wanting to join. She wanted to physically abuse you because you had the nerve to say no. I wish many kept saying no and didn't do it. Because like I said, this could have been easily avoided. Because now look at the shape the community is in. Feminism did a number, not just on black women, but on the community as a whole. And then of course, after, joining, feminism and everything like that, before or after you had the implementing of government assistance. And we know in order to do that, the man could not be in the home. That's another thing that plagued the community as well. So as you can see, a lot of the stuff that happened initially back then that plagues the community now started with them first wanting to remove black men out of the picture in more ways than one. Can't get them a job, which means they can't make no money. That happens to have friction in the marriage. And I think that was the one thing that they was hoping it was going to happen, that it was going to have the black woman initially separate from her man because of the lack of funds on his end, and that everything would be on her. But when they saw that didn't work, that's when this came in. And then when this came in, then in came the government. And then the rest is history, unfortunately. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments.